fiery dark space, he notes that the inside of the sun god throne is very unique and different from its bright exterior. Floating through the quiet darkness, he observes the dark energy, sensing a mysterious connection that feels similar to the power of the dark tide. He thinks about his abilities, realizing that the pure yang of the sun god throne and the corrupted dark of his ancient god demon armor are opposites, yet they seem to share a mysterious common origin. Smiling, he finds the connection very interesting. The legendary first sequence sun god throne descends from the sky, its fiery golden light cutting straight through the heavy storm. As the massive pillar of light slams down, top-tier defenders like Su Qingying and Jiaolan immediately lock down the perimeter with powerful protective barriers to safeguard the sealer's transition. While Su Qingying knows normal people cannot even dream of getting close to an artifact this absurdly powerful, she nevertheless insists that keeping any outside interference away from the young sealer is their absolute duty. She is not the only one on edge, however. Jiaolan and the nation's elite veterans share a heavy, ominous premonition, which is exactly why powerhouse pioneers from all over the country have been mobilized for this guard duty. In fact, tons of eager volunteers had practically begged to join the security detail, but the higher-ups immediately filtered most of them out for one simple reason: they simply were not trustworthy enough. This is because a mission of this scale demands unquestionable loyalty, especially with the constant threat of old traitors and spies trying to trigger another chaotic disaster like the one that previously ruined Taishi City. Right on cue, those fears are realized when a sinister purple flash erupts in the distance, instantly triggering the sharp senses of Su Qingying and Jiaolan. As a wave of hostile energy shoots straight into the golden beam, Jiaolan quickly realizes that this is a targeted secret technique aimed directly at disrupting the sealer's breakthrough. Leaping into action, she explains to her allies that while these drum-like sound waves are entirely harmless to normal people, they represent a literal death sentence for anyone in such a critical breakthrough phase. If the vibrations disrupt the sealer's focus now, it will easily trigger a fatal energy backlash, causing his internal energy to go completely wild and kill him on the spot. To make matters worse, standard defensive barriers are completely useless against this trick because the acoustic frequency passes right through spiritual arrays. Overlooking the rain-soaked city, Jiaolan forces herself to stay calm, knowing that her only remaining option is to quickly pinpoint the exact location of the hidden spellcasters and take them out. But before she can even begin her search, a sudden blinding surge of light catches Jiaolan completely off guard. It turns out the sun god throne itself has let out a deafening roar, its golden energy flaring violently as if it is absolutely furious about this hidden attempt to disrupt its new master. Meanwhile, deep inside a dark cave hidden in the mountains, the real culprits are revealed to be a group of cloaked traitors rhythmically beating a cursed drum to broadcast those mind-shattering waves. While one operative praises the drum's bizarre power, expressing amazement that native Xia traders would willingly cooperate with Country B just to sabotage their own homeland, the leader sharply snaps at him to shut up and keep drumming. He boasts that this acoustic weapon is the perfect tool to cripple the defenders without ever engaging them in a direct fight, fully confident that their position is completely untraceable. Clenching his fist, the lead traitor fumes over how the Sealer and the Spirit Association ruined his previous schemes, vowing to finally take back everything now that their target's luck has run out. Deciding they have finally done enough to jeopardize the Sealer's critical breakthrough, the leader prepares to slip away before any reinforcements can arrive, leaving his accomplices behind to finish the job. But the mercenaries watching him leave have their own sinister agenda, as one of them scoffs at the native traitor's stupidity and reveals that he secretly brought elite powerhouses from Country A to hijack the entire operation. However, before they can even celebrate their scheme, one of them senses a sudden, overwhelming threat and looks outside the cave only to find 3 blinding lights igniting the dark sky. In an instant, those 3 colossal pillars of golden solar energy shoot down from the heavens like heat-seeking missiles, locking directly onto their hidden cave. The hidden operatives scream in absolute terror, instantly recognizing the suffocating aura of the sun god throne, and losing their minds over how a godlike artifact could have possibly found them. Desperate to survive the impending strike, the elite Country A experts quickly pool their energy to erect defensive shields. But seeing the sheer power of the incoming attack, the traitors scream for a retreat and try to activate their final backup plan, just as the solar beams lock onto them. A split second later, the sunbeams slam down, triggering a cataclysmic blinding explosion that completely vaporizes the entire mountain peak. Shielding her eyes from the resulting shockwave, Jiaolan realizes that this is the true, terrifying wrath of the sun god throne, which is capable of pulverizing mountains with nothing but a casual gesture. Beside her, the surrounding defenders watch in absolute awe and dread, realizing how hopelessly outclassed humanity truly is compared to this level of divine power. However, this moment of awe is quickly cut short when Chen Ruo rushes up with urgent news. The massive energy shockwave has disrupted their restraining arrays, allowing the captive Lord of the Earth to escape during the chaos. Meanwhile, deep inside the Sun God Throne's core, Fang Yi walks toward a brilliant, sun-like orb, and as strange bird-like chirps echo through the dark space, he wonders if his trial has officially started. Reaching out to touch the radiant light, he notes that this trial feels completely different from his chaotic, violent struggle with the metal throne. As he floats peacefully in the warm light, he realizes there is not even a single trace of hostility or threat in the air, leaving him highly intrigued about what kind of test this supreme throne has prepared for him. Still, walking deeper into the blinding golden void, Fang Yi stays on high alert. Suddenly, the legendary Fusang tree appears before him, glowing like a miniature sun in the middle of the void. High atop its radiant branches, a majestic three-legged golden crow unleashes a deafening shriek. Fang Yi realizes this mythical bird is the true incarnation of the Sun God Throne, representing the absolute essence of the sun. But instead of attacking him, the colossal beast shows zero hostility, looking down at him with immense warmth and treating him like close kin. Trusting his instincts, he steps forward and gently reaches out to touch the magnificent sunbird. The moment they connect, the golden crow erupts into a massive vortex of solar energy as Fang Yi begins absorbing the throne's immense power. Shortly after, his system confirms that the Sun God Throne has officially submitted to his call and recognized him as its true master. As the system begins the confirmation process, Fang Yi's eyes glow with blinding golden fire while he effortlessly channels the endless solar energy. Once the notification flashes that his mastery is complete, the system immediately begins compiling a custom technique specifically for him. With the compilation proving successful, a flaming crown of pure solar energy manifests above his head, sealing his connection to the Supreme Throne forever. Finally, the system delivers his reward, a brand new God-tier Yang attribute cultivation technique called the East Heaven Divine Crown Secret Technique, taking his already insane power to a whole new level. Inside the Sun God Throne, the system gives Fang Yi a new technique called the East Heaven Divine Crown, promising to greatly boost his combat power. Reading the short description, the sealer smiles, knowing that the simpler a system summary is, the more overpowered the ability actually turns out to be. But just as he begins to process this new power, a sudden wave of hostile energy disrupts the quiet space. Outside, two cloaked figures sneak past the defenses using a strange, eye-like experimental artifact. They are shocked that the device actually lets them bypass the supreme barrier. Lowering his hood, Wang Lan explains that this artifact is their only key to entering the throne and stopping the breakthrough ceremony. Song Yiming agrees, reminding his partner that because their target is the nation's strongest fighter, they cannot make a single mistake. As they creep closer, Song Yiming hopes the device's stealth field is strong enough to keep them hidden from the sealer's sharp senses. But their plans shatter when a cold voice behind asks who they are hiding from. They freeze in terror as a golden light reveals Fang Yi descending right behind them. Terrified, they try to play it off with nervous smiles, desperately lying that Elder Wu sent them as a personal guard detail. But their excuses fail. Fang Yi's crushing pressure paralyzes them completely, and they realize in terror that the sealer has already conquered the Supreme Throne in record time. Fang Yi calmly chuckles at the pair, pointing out that their disguise is completely useless. With a quick release of his aura, he instantly shreds their cloaks, completely exposing their true identities. Shocked, the fake Song Yiming stammers in disbelief, unable to understand how their secret stealth setup failed so easily. Before they can react, Fang Yi fires a blast of golden flame, scorching the two saboteurs and knocking them flat on their backs. Even their experimental eye artifact is completely vaporized in the heat, leaving behind nothing but ash. As the smoke clears, the majestic spirit of the golden crow appears, swirling around the sealer in perfect harmony. The divine beast affectionately rubs against him, and the sealer smiles as his energy finally stabilizes enough for his breakthrough. High above the mountains, the massive pillar of solar energy slowly fades, signaling that the first phase of integration is complete. Knowing the conditions are now perfect, Fang Yi takes a deep breath and begins his deep cultivation training. Sometime later, a groggy Song Yiming shakes his partner awake, while a dazed Wang Lan complains about the bright light. Their confusion ends when Jiaolin looms over them. When Song Yiming warns her about invaders, she smiles and says the threat has already been handled. Looking into the distance, the recovered pioneers finally realize that the blinding solar light is coming directly from the sealer. Shocked, Song Yiming asks if the commander has succeeded. Jiaolin proudly confirms that he is now the official master of the first sequence Sun God Throne. She explains that he is already breaking his limits to enter the next realm, while the two intruders they met earlier were actually hostile spies. These spies included a traitor from the Xia nation and a mercenary, both carrying advanced disguise gear and a secret artifact made to infiltrate throne spaces. Suddenly, a massive shockwave of golden energy erupts from the sealer as his breakthrough begins. The surrounding soldiers cheer in awe as they watch the sealer ascend to the second level of the Shenyue realm, praising him as their eternal god. The intense pressure of his divine moon aura shatters the surrounding air as his ascension completes. Far from the center, President Ye Xiao watches in disbelief, amazed by how easily Fang Yi broke through to the second tier without any trouble. Elder Wu agrees, noting that the sealer's massive aura and the cosmic phenomenon suggest his power goes far beyond a normal breakthrough. Reflecting on their limits, Ye Xiao recalls how they had to struggle and suffer just to reach a half step into the Shenyue realm. Elder Wu remembers his own painful struggles, admitting that while the divine realm took them ages to reach, the sealer makes back-to-back breakthroughs look incredibly easy. Inside the cosmic space, the Golden Crow absorbs the massive energy of the lunar orb to power an even greater breakthrough. With a loud roar, the beast grasps the moon in its talons, pushing the sealer's power straight into the third tier of the Shenyue realm. Watching the live monitors, Su Qingying wonders in awe if the commander is about to reach the legendary Rising Sun realm, a level no human has ever touched. The Golden Crow screeches again, the sound echoing across the sky as Elder Wu and President Ye Xiao watch in silent amazement. The beast spreads its massive fiery wings over Fang Yi, shielding him as his power skyrockets past all known limits. 3 glowing suns light up the dark sky, showing a massive phenomenon never before seen in human history. At the monitoring center, analysts report that the Golden Crow has screeched 3 times, confirming the sealer has passed 3 levels and reached a half step into the Rising Sun realm. He has achieved complete mastery over the Yang attribute, and his physical body has evolved far beyond the limits of any normal pioneer. He is now a natural-born Yang attribute god, possessing a divine constitution that completely rewrites human potential. Today, he stands alone at the absolute peak, with no one on Earth capable of matching his power. Looking at his hand burning with solar fire, Fang Yi is pleased with this harvest. He notes that the Yang attribute has now perfectly fused with his bones and bloodline. He realizes he is no longer just using this power, but has truly become the physical embodiment of the Yang attribute itself. Using his new cosmic senses, the sealer instantly detects a lingering hostile presence, coldly noting that the rats still haven't given up. Inside a secret underground bunker outside the barrier, the bandaged lead saboteur panics as he realizes their mission has failed. Terrified that the sealer has absorbed the throne's power, he frantically activates a teleportation circle to escape, screaming for a retreat. But his partners grab him, refusing to let him escape alone and insisting that they will all go down together. It doesn't matter. Before they can finish their argument, blinding rays of solar energy pierce the mountain, vaporizing the bunker and wiping out the traitors instantly.